was like 60 degrees a few days ago. Now we have this. The highways are in bad shape. Things will be interesting. There are at least 20 accidents on the highway right now, and I have to make decisions. What roads to take. The algorithms, GPS will tell you what's the quickest at a given time, subject to change at any second. So, how best to drive safe? Weather like this helps to be in a tank. The more weight you have, the better off you are. Now, this car can fishtail. I've got half the third row in, that helps. It's a little bit of weight, but could use more weight. Sandbags, things like that. School is closed. Companies are not even working at home. Weather is holding up, fairly warm. This car is going to be dirty. So, here's the question. Is it better to take a road that has not been plowed, that has no stoplights, or a road that has been plowed but has stoplights? The plowing will give you some mercy, better control, but the stoplights will stop you and make you have more interactions and stop and starts. Interactions and stop and starts are a great way to slide and lose control. Anytime you have to use your brakes, you're at risk of losing control. Anytime you change lanes, you're at risk of losing control. So avoid roads that have multiple lanes going the same direction. And avoid roads that have you stop more frequently. Unless you know that they've been cleared. Well, this road has not been cleared, but has had a lot of heat clearance from the traffic. This will give you a good example of what we're in for on untreated roads that have the same traffic limits, right? You can expect other untreated roads to look about like this. That's a good sign. So, GPS does not want me to do this, but I'm going to go this way. Wants me to go straight. There's 25 stoplights and a few businesses I could patronize. I won't do it. But guess what? Multiple lanes. If you have multiple lanes, it means that you've had maybe roughly half the traffic friction melting each lane, meaning that there's going to be more precipitation coverage on a 2-lane road than a 1-lane road. Around a 4-lane road than a 2-lane road, because the traffic's not all going over one lane, right? People in this lane have to turn right, people in this lane are going straight, and it means that you have these berms of slush, wow, like that. So when you change lanes, you have to cross the berm. Not safe. Also, the left lane tends to be more covered than the right lane. See that on the highways a lot. Woo. That was rough. Like I said, it's a turn only ahead. I had to make a lane change. In some cars, that might have not gone well. I'm actually going pretty fast. Faster than one might think. The downside about no school is that all that traffic from school workers, from parents, buses, that's not coming out to melt your pack. So you're relying on the hard workers of America to clear your ice by driving when they aren't supposed to. While people make fun of them when they slide off the road, those folks are doing us a favor in making it safer for us all. The State Department of Transportation could not treat these roads because it was raining yesterday, as you recall. You could treat the roads, it would have been a complete waste of money. The rain would wash the chemical off the road, the salt, all that stuff would be gone, do no good. So they sat down, sat back, did nothing, and prepared for the onslaught. The rain turned to snow at the perfect time, which made it a heavy pack and heavier accumulation because it was all the mass of the water turning to snow, which actually the density is obviously lighter than water, so the same amount of rain has quite a bit more snow. But we're so far in good shape. The highways will be a circus as they are. If you think rain's bad, you should see it with snow. People make bad choices, people lose control. I have very good tires. They actually are for a Jeep Wrangler. They are not good for my fuel economy. They are very good for traction. I noticed an immediate drop in fuel economy after I bought these tires because the worn surface of the last tires was efficient, right? They turned and they were smooth and the friction coefficients were much lower because it was closer to a racing slick. And these are quite the opposite. These are probably winter tires that you don't want to use all year. You don't have to for efficiency and things like that. But I think these are just great all-around tires. So I've had them for over 2 years now. They are wearing a bit, but they have a warranty to go another 30,000 miles. It should be 50,000 from the time I bought them. Happy with that purchase. Wheels, I'd like to get new wheels, and I can't get new wheels. I've tried everything, and it's a mess to get new wheels for these cars. These 02 to 04 Escalades have a certain type of wheel pattern. There's just nothing out there for them. You can find a computer that'll say they fit, these various wheels fit, and then you push comes to shove, they don't fit. So it's a big letdown. You can buy the same factory rims that are not high quality and the caps fall off. There's one aftermarket model, remake, also not high quality. Also just not good looking. I'd like to spend money on things that look nice. So we did not leave on time today. We run the risk of a train delay. Past this set of tracks, there won't be a train. A little too close, I think. I'm going to fall back, but obviously that Jeep is going way too slow. The one in front of that one, there's two Jeeps. You don't need to go 30 through here. But sometimes people buy those Jeeps because of their fear of weather, and then they never put them to use. This road is clearing up nicely. It says 35 degrees. I'm feeling better about the fact that I waited to leave, and better about the fact that I'm driving. Guys, this is not smart. They are slowing down so early and unnecessarily. Panicking on the road is not advisable. I can't wait to pass this jerk off. Let me tell you, you're better off running through a red light than stopping short like that person did. Because you can just toot your horn and coast through the light and never have to touch your brakes. So when I talk about these stop and start events, if you're in it that deep and you don't see anybody coming, run the red light. Let off the accelerator, especially on a downhill where there's really no one there. You can see clearly all four directions, and you're confident, you're feeling lucky. You can just let off the throttle and roll through the red light, give a little horn toot. But it's really, really bad out there. That's a strategy. But if you try to stop from 35 miles an hour on a downhill, you're going to lose control and spin out. Again, we're not in weather anything close to that. Well, thank goodness they're going straight. Minutes to 150 highway. I'd say that's longer than usual. Also to be expected. Not feeling any inclination to use cruise control today. Probably for the best. A little bit of adrenaline going. I've drank quite a bit of water since I've left, about a liter, 12 minutes. Bridges is a little colder. I like to let off the throttle when I cross a bridge just in case the additional pressure on the throttle causes a tire to spin out. So, at the risk of slowing down too much, it's just a good habit to have and just sort of let off the throttle when you cross the bridge and then, kind of gently push back on it when you're almost over the bridge or just past the bridge. Another little trick I use. The trick I really liked when I drove a stick shift was the downshift as you're braking. Instead of using your brakes, use your downshifting to slow your car down. And to me, that was just a genius hack because you're just slowing the engine down. You're not actually applying any different forces to your wheels. You're slowing your car down from the inside, and it's wonderful if you have a standard transmission and can do that. Now, can you downshift in an automatic transmission? Theoretically, yes. Is it smart? Well, it's not that smart. I would would only use that if you were in. Actually, the better practice for an automatic is to use low gears if you have it. I have 3 low gears, so in theory, I could use gear number 3. That's my. There's one straighting car. That's my stop and start gear. So if I use gear 3, driving in the city only, it wouldn't work on this road very well, unless we were keeping it at 30, 40 miles an hour probably, and you do it based on the feel of the engine. What's the engine doing? What are the RPMs doing? If the RPMs are getting too high, you're in the wrong gear, or the wrong speed. But you can use the tension of those RPMs as you're getting too high for that gear to slow your car down. So if this road was badly covered in snow, the geography was problematic, you could be in 3rd gear with a top speed of say 35, 40 miles an hour. When you need to stop, you just let off the throttle, and that tension against the gears will push your speed back down. Then if you really want to slow down and your brakes are out or something, or you don't trust your brakes, you can pop it down to gear number 2, and it'll pull your speed down even more. Popping it down to gear 1 is a ballsy move. I would only do that if my brakes were completely out or something, and because you're probably going to damage something. Gear 1 is for, probably pulling a stump out of the ground or something like that. But that is a nuclear option. So we know from driving here every day that this truck will need to get left. I need to make a choice fast, whether I'm going to go around this truck or stay behind it. I've decided I'm going to go around it and let him deal with the folks behind, but that's part of defensive driving. He's got a lot of runway to figure it all out, but the best thing we can do is these 3 cars ahead is stay well ahead of this truck so that he can make that change when this lane ends up here. And I don't even, he's just now making the turn. He made the choice to let the other cars go around in the inner lane so that he could safely make that maneuver and have the time he needed. He might have waited that light out. Wait till it turns yellow, then go. So that there wouldn't be any more cars run up on it potentially. Well guys, this isn't fun. We've got the draft of this flatbed blowing right on us, which makes it worse. That lumber or cargo is probably not, that probably should be tarped. If it was my lumber, I'd want it tarped. I've got this lollygagger here who's going too slow for the conditions, making choices on his end, but probably not the best choices. We're going over 50 miles an hour. The left lane's going faster. I don't like that speed. The right lane's going too slow. Center lane is a little bit too slow. I want to get around the draft and around the lollygagger. So if I get up next to the semi and around, I should enjoy a little better visibility. So we're going to up it 60 miles an hour. And we are out of the draft. Also got some snow coming off the tops of cars. Don't like that. There's some actual rules that are trying to force people to clean the tops of their cars. The semi-trucks say, hey, well, what about me? How am I supposed to clean off the top of this truck? Right? Let the snow blow off, and if it hits somebody's windshield, they've got wipers for that. Well, it's law enforcement don't quite agree with that. So, what I wanted to talk about today, I'm not going to talk about. I'm going to save it for another time because I really didn't think this weather was going to hit us. I started some conversations with coworkers about should we drive in today or not. And it's not a terribly meaningful exchange of ideas. Other than the children are home, so are people working if they're home with their children? Are people working if they're stuck in traffic and not at work? I don't know the answer, but here we are. Let me tell you, it can be taxing to drive in poor conditions too. If you have employees, alright, letting off the throttle on that bridge, look for the guardrail like that, and the upper elevation, that's how you know you're on a bridge. You often don't know. You have to look for clues that you're even on a bridge sometimes. Let off the throttle, kept going. Also, remember, the people ahead of you can have a mistake, a spin out. Anything can happen. You've always got to be a little bit proactive. I'm not keeping the best buffer space between myself and the cars in front of me, but I think I'm doing the best in the circumstances. 55 miles an hour right now. I need to get over. The left lane is usually your barometer of how safe the road is, because if the left lane is clear, it means enough people have felt comfortable driving at higher speeds. So that's a good sign. Had a little bit of a slick spot there where that gap was. Not sure what that was about. It's 35 degrees. I think it may be time to stop being too concerned. You can see this guy on my far left. Maybe you can't see. This black window is completely covered in snow. Van's back window's covered in a logo sign, so I don't know. Should you be ticketed if you're in a small car? Oh, wow, God, did you see that? Wow, I hope you saw that. I'm going to go back and look later. That car somehow spun out and knocked its front end off against the wall over here. That person was probably on the road maybe 2 hours ago. There is a peak time for accidents in these storms. Sometimes you think by getting a head start, you're going to beat it. And really, you're just going into the real mess of it. And you don't have the leverage of all the other people on the road to melt the snow for you. You think, well, I need to beat the traffic. I need to beat the crowd. But the crowd is who warms up your road for you and clears it. That Lone Ranger, mentality, that adventure idealism that really causes you to be buying a new car or making an insurance claim. I am thankful for the daylight. I feel like it was probably close to daylight when I left. That is helping immensely. Alright, looks like there's been something over here. It's not captured, but I see the flashing lights of a highway assist truck. So we know at least one highway assist truck on this road is occupied. And that's another thing to think about, is that, when I had the accident on this road, I had an assist truck there within 5 minutes. I mean, I was right next to the station. We know already that one of those trucks is not going to be able to help right now. There might be more, but resources are taxed hard on days like this. So being prepared to wait. And advice today, stay in your car, they say. Don't get out, slip and fall, and get mowed down by a bus because you were walking on the road surfaces. They say stay in your car, wait for help. Might even be able to run the heater a little bit. The car can idle. That's the advice of the local authorities here. Some may tell you to stay home. Our weather folks said to stay home until 10. Well, it's 7:20, so not staying home until 10. Alright, the road changed directions. It is a lot worse here. I don't think this is just water. There is slush being brought down from the on-ramps, and as we go further east, we know that the storm is a little heavier. We also know that it is still happening. I'm going to get out of this right lane because it is coated more for whatever reason. The reason is that not many people have been getting on. The crowd has been staying in these leftmost lanes. We have seen a significant deterioration in the road surface in the last few minutes. Obviously, this has not been plowed at all because there are no piles. I'm concerned that when I get to I-70, we finally will hit the plows and they'll be going 30 miles an hour. So if that happens, we have the same problem I talk about with vehicle interactions and slow vehicles. Is someone going to be dumb enough to go around and impatient enough, letting off the throttle, back on, to try to drive around the snow plows? Remember, the plows stop and exit every few miles to let the traffic unbottle and to sometimes refuel or restock supply. So if they're getting over the same time you're trying to pass on the right, you're in an accident, guaranteed. And you lose the fight. You talk about high and heavy. Them boys are high and heavy. You ain't that high and you ain't that heavy, I guarantee it. Unless you're a commercial. Well, even the truck in front of me is a commercial truck, a commercial grade. That's not nearly as heavy as those low-down trucks. Alright, we're going to go around this guy. He's being kind of a, I don't know, but now I'm in the draft of these trucks, which is a substantial decrease in quality and visibility. And that's probably an F250 probably. F350 is probably more. You can actually have up to an F850, 750. I've seen those as well. Much more rare. Benjamin Franklin the plumber. Look at you guys, hard at work. Respect that. Now those trucks, man, for safety purposes, you have got your knees just a couple inches from my bumper if you hit the back of me. I'd like to think it keeps you as a safe driver, but golly, it scares me from an employee safety perspective, those trucks. Wear a seatbelt, one of those cab over trucks. Whoa. Call your priest. Not wearing my snow boots today. I think I'll be happy about that. They're a little heavy. Pretty sure that the water resistant shoes I've got are a better choice. If there happens to be a snow pile, I'll be sorry. Nothing worse than starting your day with wet feet in an office. Crews work hard to clean the parking lots, but this was a storm that was hard to plan for. Yeoman Truck Company flying away and probably going 65. Got a lot of control from the sense that their weight gives them good control. However, I've seen a lot of accidents where commercial trucks like that, they have this artificial sense of confidence. And it's not artificial, it's just plain old confidence. Because you know what? Your rig is not really struggling in a storm like this. You've got the confidence of the temperatures, weight. What you don't have is the stopping power. And you've got to still be driving 10 to 12 seconds ahead of you if you don't have that stopping power. And it is difficult for, there's an incongruence, right? Because the commercial truck has the capability of driving 70 miles an hour in this weather, but they don't have the ability to safely interact with the slower moving traffic at that speed, which means that if they come across a sudden slowdown and they're going 70 miles an hour, they've just poured all the ingredients into the bowl for a pretty bad accident. I see it rather often, and they think I did nothing wrong. I'm going my speed. It's a safe speed for me, but it's not a safe speed for the others. And that is next level driving that, you know, the kind of drivers who do that, they probably get criticized by their dispatch saying, hey, come on, pick it up, man. You don't need to go 50. You don't need to go 55. Pick it up. Get us there on time. And especially the older, wiser drivers say, man, screw off, man. I'm driving the speed I feel right with, the speed that I know I can get there safely with. And if you don't like that, you can do what you're going to do. And I hope that drivers in that situation stand their ground and find a new company if they need to. Because I do hear reports of things like that, and it's disappointing. Prime up here, I like what he's got going on, keeping it slow. Knows he doesn't have that stopping power, staying in the right lane, letting the folks go around, letting them be the reckless ones. Because it's the reckless ones who are going to cause a crash today. So I'm at 60 miles an hour. If I get over in this snow, it's not going to be good. I'm going to stay in complete control. I've not seen a lot of speed demons, which wow, okay. That wasn't pleasant. That merge wasn't pleasant. I felt some forces on the wheel that were not mine. I'll put it that way. It's those lane merges, like I talked about, especially unnecessary. Maybe I should have just stayed behind Prime. I don't know, but I didn't really foresee that. Now we have a really dirty ramp coming. It's going to bring clouds of rain. It's going to bring new people who haven't maybe been on a highway yet today and don't know what to expect. Maybe they're going to be more cautious, slow me down, we're on a hill. Is what it is. See, they made some effort to clean their window at least, maybe a rear defroster. I just got a car wash on Friday, and kind of sad that it's going to be ruined. The good news is the lack of treatments on the road means that really it won't be that bad for the car. The only problem is that snow is dirty. If you've ever melted snow in your microwave, it's disgusting. Don't eat it. Don't let your kids eat it. You see your dog eating it, snap your fingers because it's nasty. Another car stranded, front end damage. Most of the problem people will have been towed by now, probably. Statistically, you're not going to see many more cars off the road at this point. There's a concept called wreck chasing, where tow trucks know that they have a solvent payor from the insurance company if you've been in a wreck. And if they think your car's been financed, then you have collision coverage. So, if they know you've been in a wreck, they'll take advantage of weather events like this. The police will say, get your cars off the road, and that'll be their cover to go and start grabbing cars. The cars that have body damage are the ones they want. So if you leave a car on the side of the road that has body damage, you're asking to be wreck chased. So they'll listen to the police reports. Okay, we've got a car damage at this road, this mile marker. They'll be out there, unrequested. Take your car, they'll take it to their preferred choice of body repair or tow lot if they have a tow lot, and they'll hold it hostage. And they'll say, if you want it back, pay my storage, what have you. I had a tow company take my car once. They didn't tell me where it was. Their address was a P.O. box, and they never answered their phone. I had no clue where my car was, and I was furious. I reported it stolen. I reported it to my insurance. A few days later, somehow it was found at a body shop, collision repair shop, and that tow company wanted $1,400 for stealing my car. And I told my insurance company, I said, do not pay these people. I actually filed a lawsuit against them for theft, conversion, anything I could come up with. You know, I had to rent a car because my car was gone. It was really a rough time for me. I was not happy. And anyways, they fixed the car. My insurance paid everything, and even probably subrogated against what they considered an at-fault party. Feeling more like a rainy day. 35 degrees still. The slush margins are gone from the shoulder for the most part. That's a sign that the road surfaces are really warming to the point that they can melt the water, melt the snow to water. That center line that's not traveled much is also cleared, obviously. That's promising. We have one more road to get on, and we're on 470, so we've only got about another 10 miles to finish the commute. Alright. What I did not consider is that walking in this will not be fun. The hair, the face, not be like enjoyable. Tortilla King LLC, Mountain City, Kansas. I did not realize that they were local. Buy local. Mama Lupe's, buy local. I'll do it. Actually like their tortillas. I'm not actually kidding. Last time I bought tortillas, they were pretty sure they were Mama Lupe's, and they were a heck of a lot better than the national labels, that's for sure. I'm kind of a food person, a little bit. I would not be surprised if they have restaurant accounts. Sell fresh tortillas from the restaurants. It's good stuff. Mountain City, Kansas. intermodal container on it. That's an interesting rig. Usually you have a chassis that you put those intermodal containers on. Chassis are garbage. They're rust buckets. They're used by ports, and they're just not safe vehicles. And they're just trailers. I mean, vehicle is often used to describe a trailer. Oh boy. Yep, another spin out earlier today probably. Why couldn't you drive away from that? It's interesting. The person must have been injured. Another pull off up here. Could have been associated with the same accident. So I'll just pull up off the ramp. Stop. Oh boy. Yeah, bumper's gone there. There's a piece of somebody's wheel. I feel like I was talking about something good before I got distracted. But that's okay. Oh yeah, intermodal chassis. So, intermodal containers, you can use them to buy and ship things to this country. Anybody can do it. Pay customs, houses, and things like that, get tariffs and all that paid. But the question then is, what's the final mile? You have a chassis, deliver it. In this instance, a person with a step deck said, I can do that. I'll just secure the container to my trailer and drive it. Not sure how secure that is. It strikes me as probably less secure than a chassis. But there might be industry practices for doing that. It might also depend on weight, right? Maybe it's an empty container. Empty container, I don't have a lot of trepidation. If that container has 2 cars in it, and it can come sliding right off, well, now I'm a little more concerned. You know, we actually have a shortage of chassis in the industry right now. And that's been part of the problem with our port delays. I could talk for 2 days on supply chain issues and port delays. I don't think it's particularly helpful to anyone because it's a problem that I can't fix and let's get over you can't fix. God damn it, get over, you stupid motherfucker. God damn it, why did that guy not get over? Upside down car, snowplow stopped to help. God bless you all. Somebody's running back there in shorts. Something must have just happened. Something must have just happened. God bless you all and good luck, and let's not cause any more accidents, guys. Let's get back up to speed. 40 miles an hour. When you see someone pulled over on a day like today, you don't stay in the right lane if you don't have to. What that person did upset me. I might have cursed. I don't remember. I'm sorry if I cursed. There's the fire truck. Something really bad just happened. We wish nothing but the best for that, but we also have to stay focused and not cause any more issues. So we've talked about hydroplaning. You can hydroplane in these conditions, lose control. It can cause you to flip. It can cause you to spin out into other cars. We are still in a dangerous situation. There's another fire truck. Sometimes it's those racing slick type tires that cause that to happen because, you know, it's kind of this all-weather nonsense that they try to sell you at the tire shop. More sirens up ahead. I'm 4 miles from my exit. I can get the hell off this road. Wow. I don't think that man would have been running in shorts today if he hadn't seen that car go off the road and turn over. Maybe he was associated with the incident. Maybe he had clipped the car or something and caused it to spin out. Jesus, how many fire trucks have we seen today? More sirens. Oh man, I used to live in the inner city and I'd hear sirens and it always just make you kind of want to stop and pray for whoever needed those sirens, because they don't turn them on for speeding in this city. They turn them on because somebody's little kid grabbed a gun and got shot or something, you know. It's just a summertime. You know, this is why, you know, safety folks, it's very easy to become jaded and sort of hardened to the human elements, because it's the only way to survive handling these issues on a day-to-day basis. You have to go to a place that is sort of your suit of armor, your safe space psychologically. But anyone who says they're not affected by photos and witnessing incidents, they're either lying or they've got a screw loose, or both. Liars often have screws loose anyhow. That car has no license plate. Fascinating. Not sure how that works. Oh, get me the hell off this road. I want to go around this person, but I'm not sure changing lanes is safe, so I'm just going to go their speed. Driving me nuts. I'm on a bridge, so I'm not going to do it. It's 34 degrees. It's actually gotten colder. Have a thermometer in your car if you don't have one. It will help you if you have to drive in those conditions. You need to know the weather trends of where you're going. Is it getting colder? Is it getting warmer? It will help you. We've got maybe a snowplow ahead flashing in front of this car. I can't tell. He's getting slower. I think we need to just get over to the left. I don't know what this guy's going to do. Also got to be pretty damn close to my exit. So can I get around this guy before I get to my exit? I think so. It says liquid salt, but I don't think they're salting. They're just clearing the shoulder. They've already plowed the lanes, I suppose, one time. A little bit of resistance crossing that center line, but better. Visibility, obviously, not as good as it was. Material on the windshield is looking a little different. It's almost like it has the structure. There's a straight truck. Gosh darn it, that looked like a co-worker's truck. It's not. The structure looks like snowflakes. They're smacking into maybe they were snowflakes and then turned into sort of structured water as they melted on the way down. It's back up to 35 degrees. I exit in 4/10 of a mile. Acceleration using no brakes because there's plenty of room behind me. When you do that, when you try things like using deceleration to slow down or low gear to slow down, remember that you're not giving off any brake lights to the people behind you. They don't know you're slowing down necessarily until they're right up on your ass. So you've got to be mindful of that. There's somebody with a dog. Rough time for that dog. Hey, gas has gone down. I guess when school closes, there's no demand, but it's not how that works. Well, I'm feeling confident that the commute will conclude safely. Statistically, it will. Statistically, when you have confidence, you will make a mistake. So don't get too cocky. Keep your stick on the ice. Keep your wheels on the road. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open. gotta say, this was about as exciting as 2 cups of coffee. Not in a good way. What's left of me is here. We're in one piece. And I would like to think that good choices helped. Sometimes it's more about good luck than good choices. You can make all the choices you want. If you think you're in control, it's when you think you're in control, that's when you get your comeuppance. Y'all be safe.